Hi, I'm Whitney.
And I'm Taylor.
And we're the Ghost Sisters.
The Ghost Sisters. One of these days we'll get that. It'll be good. It's fine. So I suppose we should start with, we're back after 2 weeks of ridiculousness.
Yeah. So an apology.
Yeah,
we're sorry.
We had fully intended on recording an episode. Yeah, we were going to record 3 episodes in one go. And Whitney had a 400 dessert wedding to bake for, and then ended up getting sick and losing her voice. And I ended up getting sick with really bad food poisoning, not related to her baking.
We both were in the urgent care. It was a super fun weekend, and we're sorry. I hope y'all's weekend was way better than ours was. Yeah.
Yes, it was rough stuff. So, but we're both doing much better.
Yeah, I was going to say my voice is still it's back. Every now and then it still kind of cracks. So sorry, guys. And I still have kind of sniffles and a cough. So more sorry to Taylor if she has to edit all that shit out. So good luck.
It is what it is. Also, we are recording remotely. So if our audio sounds funky, that might be why.
It's me.
It's Whitney. We're going to look for her good microphone whenever I get over there next. So
again, I told you, I know where it is. I just got to find where it is, where I know where it is. So, yeah.
Sure.
Sure.
So, sure.
So we're going to do the creature feature. So that was my task. I know this wasn't part of the task, but I have a little song.
Okay, now I am intrigued.
The face that Taylor just made was just perfect. I'm sure all of you also were like, what the fuck? Because that was her face too. So are you ready?
Yeah, I'm ready. Let's go.
Creature feature. How'd you get so creepers? Creature feature. Man, you freak me out.
I love it. It's perfect.
Great.
That'll be our intro for all of our creature features from now on.
Oh, I'm so excited. So
excited. Such a blasé way of saying that. I'm so excited.
I'm so excited. Okay, I guess I'll get started. As we told you guys, we were going to do Skinwalker as our first creature feature. So that's where I am. So I'm just going to jump right into it. Skinwalkers. They are in the Navajo culture. So Native Americans. It's actually in more than just Navajo, but that's mainly where you see it. In Navajo, it is, and I'm going to butcher the shit out of how to say this, and I'm very sorry, but it's Yi Naldushi, which roughly translates. If anyone is Native American and can actually say it and would like to voice record and send it to us, we're all for it. So anyways, Yi Naldushi roughly translates to he who walks on all fours. So, yeah, a skinwalker.
That is creepy no matter what. If I see a random dude walking on all fours coming at me, my soul will leave my body right there.
Well, so you're already wrong. It wouldn't be the dude walking on all fours. Yeah, no, it's the spirit is what the he is referring to, walks on all fours.
Oh, gotcha.
And of course, our culture and everything, we have werewolves and lycanthropy kind of stuff where the hair grows everywhere. But in Navajo culture, they are actually witch doctors. Medicine men. It's mainly the men. There are some women that are witches, but these are Navajo witches that have gone down the wrong path. Okay. So, because it is widely accepted and everything in the culture to practice quote unquote witchcraft, which is, medicine. It would also be rituals of protection and that kind of stuff. But they also, they have their practical medicine, like actual, hey, Whitney's got a freaking ear infection. Let me give her some medicine for it. But then they may also do a cleansing ritual for if there's anything else that plagues my soul, like I was extremely stressed out, they may do some kind of ritual for that as well.
You got ghosts in your blood.
I better than the angels. So
the
angels. So these medicine men that decided to go to the dark side actually do have to kind of go through a rite of passage to become a skinwalker. They have to kill someone that is close to them, normally a family member and more than likely a sibling. So,
ooh, okay. Yeah. So don't become a witch doctor, please. Thank you.
What if I already have? No, I'm just kidding. No, I'm not gonna. No, I definitely am not a skinwalker, and I'm very sorry. Please do not come at me, skinwalkers, if you are listening, because ooh, scary shit. Let's not do that. So, anyways, so they do have to do their ritual and everything, and unlike the curse that we see in our culture with werewolves, it's not a curse where, ooh, it's a full moon, I turned into a werewolf. This is they actually choose to turn into whatever animal that they want, and they can actually change into different animals. So a lot of times they're seen as coyotes or wolves, or they can even be a crow, which gives me super Game of Thrones vibes, which Taylor, I know you did not watch
I did not
or
watch
read.
That, no.
So everyone at Taylor for being lame as fuck. So if you
didn't capture my interest.
Well,
I love this very long pause there. She was like, do I insult her or do I just keep going?
It's a little bit of both. You're lame and we're going to move on. So, okay. So there are other cultures that do have shapeshifters. Like I believe it's the Indian culture. They actually have shapeshifters that'll shift into leopards or lions or something like that. So as far as shapeshifters go, I think there's some pretty cool ones out there. Whereas America, we're just like, oh, werewolves, ooh. But
that sounds like a good time to me. I would love to be able to just shift into, I'm going to be a dog today, and then tomorrow I'm going to be a bird.
Yeah. But you're after it for cool shit.
They're after it for revenge.
But legit. They're after it for complete mayhem and destruction, and they don't care. So they normally will pick the animal that they will turn into based on the skills that they need for whatever the task is. So if they turn into a bear, they're probably looking for strength. If they're turning into a coyote, they're probably looking for, fierce, ferocious. I'm furling my face and everything. Anyways,
she's got her arms up like claws. Ferocious.
So anyways, they're going to turn into whatever is going to help them accomplish the task that they're trying to do. They also, when they do shapeshift, it's said that the animal that they shapeshift into has very human-like eyes. Chances are they can't fully shapeshift the correct way. So it could be that the dog has human hands and feet. What? Why are you laughing?
I just immediately thought of Ditto from Pokemon. It can transport everything but its face. So it just has the little Ditto eyes and stuff. That's exactly what I thought of. And yeah, I'm a nerd.
Wow. Okay. So
continue.
Ditto, but not Game of Thrones. Got it. Cool. Okay. So they will shapeshift, but like I said, some parts won't shift with them, or they'll be really weird looking. You know how a flamingo's leg bends backwards? Mm-hmm. It's possible that the wolf that they've gone into will bend backwards instead of going the right way. Yeah, it's fucked up.
That's disturbing. So I've been generating AI images for our posts and stuff like that. Some of the AI images that I get, they're like that, where it's, first off, AI can't generate hands, and that in itself is terrifying. But yeah, they end up looking really, really funky. It's kind of creepy.
Well, hands and feet in general are creepy as fuck. If you just think about it, like the human body was like, and we're done. Like,
Yeah.
I can't handle it.
But yeah, one of the pictures I was trying to generate a creature in the woods or something like that, and it ended up as this weird goat man with backward legs and stuff. And I was like, that's a little too creepy. I think I'm done.
But it's appropriate because that's exactly what it would be, apparently. Yeah. So anyway, so that's whenever they're in their animal form. When they are in their human form, sometimes they look very like sunken in, like their face is kind of gross looking, their body is sunken in. They apparently smell like rotting flesh, and then they have very animalistic eyes.
That's kind of weird. Like when they're human, they look animalistic, but whenever they're in their animal form, they have human eyes. That's weird.
Yeah, I don't know what the theory is behind it. A big issue with doing the research on this is the Navajo culture. They're not very, they don't want to discuss this with other people, especially outside of their culture. So a lot of stuff that I found was very limited. So I'm going based off of a book that I listened to, and that's right, I listened to it. Because I drive around all day and I get to listen to a bunch of shit. So that, and then like a few websites here and there. But for the most part, all of this is all that our society outside of it knows, because they're not really talking about it. Yeah.
Right.
So
I'm sure that it's one of those, like,
it's a very taboo.
There
subject.
you go. That's the word I was looking for. Thank you.
Okay. It's taboo even within their culture to talk about. So for outsiders to come in and ask questions like, oh shit, that's not okay.
Right.
So, but it leads us to all of this. So another thing with their creepy animalistic eyes, if they make eye contact with you, they can actually possess you, and they can make you do things that you wouldn't normally do. They can talk to you telepathically and everything, and really just completely fuck up your world. I mean, they literally are up for just fucking shit up. They cause mischief, they do curses, murder, mayhem. They have to continue to kill in order to survive. If they stop killing, then they die. And a couple places that I've read said that they can be like vampires and be like 100, 200 years old, and they never age. And so, but also like you never age, but you look like a skeleton. Like,
right.
But, whatever. To each their own, unless you're a skinwalker, then fuck that shit.
Yeah.
So moving on, they also are good grave diggers. They apparently
what a weird skill.
I know, it's a weird. That was the one thing that I was like, okay. So they can apparently dig into graves, like already buried people graves, at super speeds, and they can grave rob and everything. But then they can also, mixed reviews on what I found as far as if they had to be very powerful skinwalkers or just skinwalkers in general, but they can use the powder that comes from the corpses in order to poison their next victims.
Ooh.
Yeah. Yeah.
Ooh.
So I don't know.
I don't know how to respond to that. Like,
I think that's the appropriate response, because like, what the fuck? Like, yeah. I mean, you've already gone above and beyond by like killing your sibling and like transforming into a weird wolf or like backwards cat. I don't know. And then you're going to take corpse powder?
Corpse powder. That sounds like a weird, like, I don't even know, like.
Yeah, none of it sounds fun. No. None of it at all. So they can actually be killed, which is, if you, for some reason, feel as though you are being, affected by a skinwalker. If you learn the name that they had before they became a skinwalker and you can pronounce it in full, that should cause them either to get, deathly ill or actually die. Another way to kill them is in our world of werewolves, silver weapons, so silver bullets, silver swords, that kind of stuff. And then back to covering with ashes and that kind of shit. If you have a bullet or a sword that is covered in a white ash, that will kill them, but you have to get them in the head or in the neck. Okay. Which, I mean, that would kill anyone. So, you know, but you have to have the white ash.
Sure. I think I'd go the name route. It's like Rumpelstiltskin.
Yeah, but if they're like 100, 200 years old, how are you going to find out their name?
True that.
So,
yeah.
You know.
You speak the true.
I do speak the true. So, ways for you to know if you are, you know, seeing or being visited by a skinwalker. Obviously, if you see their eyes and they look animalistic, also don't look into their eyes because then they'll possess you. So, like, do it out of the corner of your eye. You know?
I could just imagine, like, walking up to somebody and, like, just not making eye contact and being like, bro, I think you're a skinwalker. Like, just glancing at them real quick, like, trying to figure out if they've got animalistic eyes.
Yeah.
I'm just awkward enough to do it that way, too.
Yeah, you would probably do that in real life no matter what, though. So...
Legit, yeah.
Like whether or not you suspected them of being a skinwalker, you'd just be like,
other humans.
So aside from their eyes, again, they smell like rotting flesh.
Delightful.
You will have cold chills, sense of dread. You may hear strange noises or voices. You could see flashes of light or shadowy figures out of the corner of your eyes, and then just being extremely fearful for no reason whatsoever. Just an extreme sense of dread.
Sounds like my early 20s.
Well, maybe you were under the effect.
Maybe I was affected by a skinwalker.
You never know. They also will make sounds around the house. They'll be knocking on windows, banging on walls. They'll scrape on the roof and everything. They're kind of assholes in general, and they stink, they make you feel bad, and they're loud and noisy. So stay away.
Sounds like a bad roommate.
I mean, yeah.
I had one.
You've
in my early 20s. Oh, my God.
Oh, whoa.
That was a skinwalker.
Oh, jeez.
If Seth is listening to this, he's like, fuck you, Taylor. He's not listening to this.
No, probably not. So another thing that can kind of like give you a clue if you are being affected by a skinwalker, you might have reoccurring dreams of different animals or a particular animal. So if you have a reoccurring dream of a wolf that keeps staring at you, that's a skinwalker. And you want to pay attention to what they do in the dream because it may give you an idea as to what their intention is in real life. Now, if in your dream a skinwalker does show up and talk to you, you want to listen to it because chances are they're not trying to harm you at that point. They're trying to give you a warning or give you information that can help you. So, I don't know. That's a
skinwalker.
Well, so maybe it's like maybe it's not like a helpful skinwalker, but it's like, hey, stop fucking doing this shit or I'm going to beat you. Like that kind of thing.
Gotcha. Okay.
Then like that would be, it's helpful and it's a warning.
Sure.
And also like, I would be like, alrighty, coyote, let me,
alrighty, coyote,
let me stop doing whatever it is you're telling me to stop doing. So again, like I said before, you can, they'll tap on walls, they'll like knock on windows and stuff. So you may see footprints that don't belong. It may be large animal footprints, like, if you have a dog, but they're twice the size, chances are that's a skinwalker footprint lurking
Lovely.
About. Lovely. If you are out and about in the desert or wherever, the skinwalker is, and you notice that it's not always a predator animal. Sometimes it's like a deer or something. Mm-hmm. If you notice one of them following you from a higher up angle, that's probably a skinwalker because they're up and they're watching and everything. And like, deer aren't going to stalk you.
Right.
Because, you're not prey. So if a deer is stalking you, watch out.
You got some problems.
You got some problems. Yeah. So with that, the Skinwalkers also will end up wearing predator furs, or they'll wear like antlers or something, and that'll help them gain more power.
Okay.
So for Navajo, at least from what I was reading, for the most part, predator furs are kind of taboo and off limits just because of the fact that that's part of that lore. And so they do still wear furs like goat or cow or, non-predatory kind of stuff. But that's one of the things that is part of that culture. So if you see, an animalistic eye, antlers, and coyote fur, chances are you should stay the fuck away.
I mean, I see somebody walking around with antlers, I'm going to stay away from them to begin with. Just like, bro, something's wrong over there. I'm not coming near that.
Like, what the fuck? Yeah. So,
and the insurrection, the Capitol stuff on January 6th, and that dude that was wearing like the antlers and the headdress all that. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, yeah. He probably was not a skinwalker just because of the fact that I feel like skinwalkers are cunning and that guy was a fucking idiot. So, I'm just throwing that out there. So something interesting that I did find was the Navajo culture actually did have a witch purge, which is reminiscent to like the Salem witch trials. And I thought that was interesting because they do widely practice witchcraft. So it's considered the Navajo Witch Purge of 1878. And so far, I've only found one book on it, which I've not gotten to read. But other than that, it's just bits and pieces. So most of the information I'm about to say came from a website called legendsofamerica.com, because it's the only place that I could find any information about it. So during that time, the Navajo tribes were expelled from their current land and forced to go to the land in New Mexico, which is now known as Fort Sumter. And that was known as the Long Walk in 1864. That was all because of American settlers, like, doing the dickish things that we did. And so they were forced to go.
Being American.
America. So they were forced to leave their land. And during that time, there was a lot of issues once they got to Fort Sumter. There was, drought, crop failure, sudden illness, that kind of stuff. The normal stuff that would happen in 1864 because, it's 1864. But because of that, it is believed that some people of the tribes decided to become skinwalkers to escape those hardships.
Oh, okay.
So after 4 years of that, America was like, our bad, and said that they could go back to their land. Because of course, why the fuck wouldn't they? My bad, go back home, homies. Yeah, so they migrated back, and once they got back, they still could feel the skinwalkers around them. And so they actually put to death about 40 suspected witches in order to restore the peace and harmony and balance that was within that tribe. Yeah. But and that's all the information I could really get. It sounds very interesting. I think I might actually have to get that book after I finish the book for book club because I'm really terrible at reading. Sorry, guys. But it sounds really interesting because, the Salem witch trials were just a hot fucking mess of terribleness. Yeah. So I'm curious as to how they determined, she's a witch, burner. What made them decide, because a lot of it was if they found articles of clothing or sentimental stuff from victims that had died, if they found those within the people's possession, that is a sign of a suspected skinwalker witch.
I'd hope that they went about it a little bit more, I don't want to say scientifically compared to the Salem witch trials, but at least a little bit more like, basically the Salem witch trials was just girls being twats and accusing a bunch of people. So I'm hoping that they, at least there was some kind of evidential process to that.
Again, I couldn't find a whole lot of information, but if I read that book and I get more info, definitely will share that along, because That's interesting. I didn't know that they had that. So anyways, that was the witch purge of 1878. So I'm going to move on now because we already went through like how you may think that you're being affected by a skinwalker. There are ways to protect yourself against it. Obviously, learn their name, say their name as you can, and also stay the fuck away. If you hear if you hear noises or someone calling your name and you're out in the middle of nowhere, do not go to it. They are known to mimic voices. I mean, they can possess people. So they're known to mimic voices and try to entice you to come to their aid. I've heard of, screaming people that, puts you on high alert and you're like, oh, fuck, what was that? Don't go. Call 911, let them go. Like, don't go, especially if you're out in the middle of the desert. Chances are that person's probably already dead. So, like, don't go over there. Don't go over there. And another theory about the voices is that they can take on the voices of their past victims. So, like, so it could be a man, it could be a child, it could be a woman. Like, don't. Yeah.
None of that sounds okay.
Yeah. So another thing that you can do for you and your house and everything, of course, salt. Salt is very powerful for some reason. I'm sure Taylor's got explanations for why salt is powerful. Nope. Okay, that face.
I mean, salt is salt. Like, from a scientific point of view, it's just, sodium chloride. But I know that in paranormal stuff, salt is supposed to be a barrier between yourself and a demon. So if you suspect you're being possessed by a demon or something like that, typically whenever you are exorcised or your house is exorcised or something like that, they suggest putting salt in the four corners of your property so that it creates a barrier to keep all that stuff out. But from a scientific point of view, there's no reason that salt should do anything. So, I mean, not to bring that down, but it is tasty. Salt's my favorite thing.
Okay. All right. So you would put salt around your entrances, around the windows, all of that. You would also burn sage to help cleanse the house and everything. For your doors and your windows, any entrances into your house, you want to have holy objects that'll help seal it. So you could have like a cross, you can have a rosary, you can have something that was blessed that should help protect you from the skinwalker, the whole thing. As far as what you can do for yourself, you can cast a protecting light around yourself. So when you're meditating, you can tell yourself, there's a white glowing light that's going to protect me and nothing's going to come through, which is a good practice for, ghosts and demons in general. Another thing that I thought it was interesting that it specified this, practice self-love.
That is a weird one.
So practice self-love while you're doing like yoga and meditation and trying to keep yourself calm and be able to not focus so much on what's going on outside of you and able to accept and do what you need to be doing in your current life. So you're not tempted, I guess, by these outward spirits.
I'd imagine that it has something to do with strengthening your inner beliefs and your core. So then that way you're like, they will latch on to people that are weak in conviction and that kind of thing, or that are having negative thoughts or emotions and that kind of thing. So if you practice self-love and you feel that, down to your core, then you are less likely to be affected.
Yeah. So everyone, you're going to go home, or if you're currently at home, you're going to go and you're going to tell yourself in the mirror, I fucking love you, man. And you're going to just love yourself, and that'll help you with the skinwalkers and really just help you in life in general. So
you are
tell yourself, I fucking love you.
You are one badass motherfucker.
Exactly. And you are. You got me and Taylor. You are. You got both of us telling you that you are fucking badass. So believe it.
Believe it. You gotta believe it.
So now I'm going to go into a couple of the stories and stuff that I found.
Okay.
So, like I said, there are many that have reported hearing voices. Sometimes it's yells, sometimes it's names, sometimes it's haze, but they'll go to look at whatever. They'll shine their flashlight in whatever direction it is, and there's nothing. And then they'll hear the voices surround them. So it's not just, that just gave me goosebumps.
Yeah, that's nothing about that's okay.
Yeah, nope. Mm-mm. So one of the stories I read was this man said that his father was driving down the road and he saw an old Native American woman walking on the side of the road. He pulled over and offered her a ride. She kind of brushed him off and then ran into the forest at inhuman speed.
I hate everything about that. No, thank you.
Yeah. Like, what the fuck?
That man's lucky to be alive.
Yeah. First off, I love everyone, try to help everyone, but chances are something else is happening. So if you're going to pull over, don't pull over. Don't, I'm sorry. Go to a safe distance and then call the cops and be like, hey, saw this lady on the side of the road and want to make sure she's okay. You do not pull over. You don't know what the fuck is going on. So don't do that shit.
That's my thing. Like, I ain't stopping.
Yep. Taylor, whenever she saw the lady fall up the steps at that one place and everyone stopped.
I was going to get our race packets. We were going to do the hot chocolate run. And it was, no, it wasn't the hot chocolate run. What run was it? I don't remember. It was some 5K we were going to do. And I drove all the way out there. And I was walking in to the building, and this lady decided she was going to walk down this embankment kind of thing, but she slipped and fell. And I saw 10 people rush over to her at once. And I was like, I ain't stopping. I kept going because I was like, she has the help she needs. So why would I stop? And just one more body in the middle of everything. So I was just like, I'm going to go give a race package now. So do not count on Taylor to help you, apparently.
No, not at all. I mean, would you have stopped? If not, if she was far enough away, would you be like, well, that sucks, and then just walked away?
Unfortunately, I think that back then Taylor 100% would have been like, hope she didn't break something, and just kept going.
Yeah, she's not doing the walk. Jesus.
Exactly.
So yeah, if you see someone on the side of the road, channel your inner Taylor and be like, not my fucking problem, and then move on with your life. So there have also been stories of, like I said, four-legged animals that move very weird. There was one story that I was reading that they saw this very large dog on the side of the road that was just kind of walking at a normal speed, but they slowed down because it started to come in front of their car, and they came to a stop, and it rocked across the road like a rocking horse, and then stopped in front of their car, made eye contact with them, and then continued to rock across the street.
I think I was on some kind of really bad drug trip. What the hell? Oh my God. Guarantee you, the second I saw that thing starting to walk, I'd put that thing in reverse, and I would reverse all the way back down that road. I keep my eyes on that. Taylor's just going.
Taylor fucking out.
I don't care if his car's behind me. We all go, and Taylor's taking him with me.
I'll love tap you all the way out of here.
Exactly.
Jeez. So one of the more famous accounts of it is the Skinwalker Ranch.
Yes.
The Sherman family owned this property somewhere in Utah, which, I mean, it's fucking Utah. So some of this I'm like, well, it's Utah. So sorry, guys, if y'all are from Utah, but also at the same time, what are you guys doing in Utah? Anyways, so they heard a lot of voices while they were on the ranch. They would just kind of be out and about and hear voices. They would see a lot of orbs, which, could be a ghost, but they've also reported that skinwalkers can kind of show flashes of lights and shadows and that kind of stuff. In the book that I was listening to, they had a couple accounts of where they would have items that would get moved, and the family members would think that they were going insane because they would one of them, he had a wrench and he put it out and then came inside and was like, where the fuck is my wrench? And they were like, I don't know. And it turns out it just got moved, but he didn't move it. And then other family members were having similar issues. You know, they're cooking dinner and they put a pot out, turned around and it wasn't there. So is that a skinwalker? Is that a ghost? Is that being forgetful? I don't know. But
I don't know. How do you forget a whole ass pot? Like,
girl, okay, look, I don't know how many times.
Whitney's got a story.
I don't know how many times I've been in the middle of baking and I'll be like, all right, I got my vanilla, and I'll set it down and I'll turn around to do something and I'm like, where the fuck is my vanilla? And it takes me like 5 minutes to find it. It's normally right back where I set it, but also at the same time, like, I'm doing shit. And so I don't remember where it is.
That's fair. That's fair. Generally, whenever I'm like, when I'm cooking, I'm like, that's the one task I'm focused on. So like, pot is always in my view.
It's also the one task that I'm focused on, but I've got like 4 of the same task going on.
Right.
Like, I'm not just,
You're typically
not just
like
making the one cake. Yeah, I'm doing like 12. So, okay, not 12. That's excessive, but you get what I'm saying. So anyways, items would go missing or get moved. There were a lot of reports of the cattle getting mutilated cattle. So they had either they would go missing or they would be injured. And the way that they would be injured would be like, no human could do that. And like they would be drained of blood and like they would have precise cuts taken out of them and everything. But no human could do that. And the main man that worked on the farm, I guess Mr. Sherman, was very dedicated to his cattle and his livestock. And so he took great pride in his livestock. And so for one of them to go missing, that was like a huge deal. And it was always traumatic for him whenever he would either find them or never find them, which also led to, so this is where it kind of like skews off. And I'm like, man, I don't know. It leads to sightings of UFOs.
Right.
Yeah. So there's a lot of stuff like the book that I was reading, very informative. I enjoyed listening to it, but also at the same time, it only talked about skinwalkers for like a hot second. And then it was like, and then there are fucking UFOs, because they talked about seeing like, you know, these giant orange doorways in the sky. And they just kind of like got used to it. And then all of a sudden, like,
how do you get used to that?
I don't know. They kind of like one part that I was listening to, he was like, and then I just glanced up at these doorways in the sky and was like, oh yeah, I wonder if that was an issue. Like, well, I don't think I would. I mean, I guess if you see it every single day, you would be like, that's just what the sky does. But also at the same time, I would be like, there's no fucking thing that does that in the sky. Like, what the hell?
Yeah.
So the Skinwalker Ranch had a lot of UFO sightings, and they believe that that's what happened to a lot of the cows and everything. So that's kind of where I'm going to end it on the Skinwalker Ranch, because I feel like Skinwalker Ranch is not quite the right wording. I think it's just fucked up ranch in Utah is probably the correct wording.
That's it. We've rebranded. It's fucked up ranch in Utah.
I've decided it's the fucked up ranch in Utah. So anyways, back to Skinwalkers. So I did find a couple TikTok videos from one user in particular. It's at that one, the number one cowboy. So at that one cowboy. He has 2 videos that I saw that I legit was like, ooh. The first one that I saw was he is on the trail with his horse. It is sunset. It's obviously like a big ranch. Like, it's not a well-populated area. And he's just kind of like going along. And then all of a sudden you hear, hey.
Oh, I remember this video. Yes.
Yeah. And it's close. And you could see the ears of the horse like, whoop. And he like kind of stops and he's like, okay. And he like looks around and they keep trotting along. And then you hear, hey, again. And that horse shakes his head and then trots off in the other direction. Like, he is not fucking with it. So that's one of the videos like that kind of stuff. I like gives me the heebie-jeebies. So he has another video that it's his 2 horses there, you know, on the farm. It looks like in this video, he's back at his ranch and they're eating, and it's later at night. The sun has gone down and you can hear just like yelling in the distance. It's not as clear or as close as the hay from the other video, but it's enough that you're like, what the fuck? And the horses start reacting as well. Another video that I saw, which it was like a reaction video to a video kind of deal, was a woman was in a parking lot with her dog, and her dog was like, nope, and noped the fuck out of that parking lot and would not let her owner stop. And it kept looking back and like kind of whimpering and like really just freaked out. And then it got to a safe spot, sat down and stared at the parking lot. And that was labeled as a skinwalker, but honestly, that could be a lot of things, I feel like.
Yeah, that really could, yeah.
So
that could just be the dog getting weird vibes about maybe someone or a situation, or maybe there's an earthquake, or there's all kinds of things that could be attributed to that.
Dogs are very intuitive.
So creepy.
If my dog's going to freak out and try to run away from whatever it is, I'm going to trust it.
Yep.
Like,
legit.
If the dog's freaking out, I'm going to leave. So, yeah. So anyways, that's everything that I found on Skinwalkers. So moral of the story is stay away from weird noises. Don't kill your sibling if you are in the Navajo tribe and are a witch doctor, because more than likely that means that you're trying to become a skinwalker. If you see animals with human-like eyes that also walk really funny or have like human-like features, stay the fuck away. Mm-hmm. Be awkward like Taylor. Don't stop for anyone. Don't look at anyone in the eye, because, you're going to die. So,
legit.
And then again, practice self-love, because you're fucking awesome.
Self-love. You are a badass motherfucker.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So if you guys have stories about skinwalkers, really anything, but if you have stories about skinwalkers, or if there's anything that I said that you think was incorrect, hit me up. Let me know. We would love to hear your stories, and we just would love to hear from you guys in general.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We appreciate any feedback that we get, which actually brings me to something that I wanted to do. I wanted to shout out our first two people that commented on our videos. We have
videos.
Podcasts. There we go.
Hey, that thing that we're doing. Yeah.
The thing we're working on. The first one was Mike. He reached out to us on Facebook and said that we've got potential, which hit me in the heart. Oh, we're happy.
We're practicing our own self-love. Thanks, Mike.
We are. Thank you so much, Mike. And then there was Lev, who is actually one of my students. But Lev is awesome. They said that Whitney's funnier than I am. Lev's probably listening to this like, I didn't say it that way. Yeah.
I mean, I mentioned that to Dad as well. And he was like, you do add a certain randomness that makes you a little funnier here and there. So, it's not that you're not funny. You're just not as fucking random as I am. So
legit. Yeah. And that actually is very cool. Like, you've got more of the creative brain. I have more of the logical brain. So it makes sense.
Yeah.
So, but thank you, Mike and Lev, for commenting. We love it whenever people comment on our stuff. And if you're listening now and you want to reach out, we'd love to hear from you. Yeah. We're on every social media that you can be on as the Ghost Sisters, except for Instagram, we're the Ghost Sisters Texas. And then if you want to Gmail us, we're the Ghost Sisters Texas @gmail.com. So
woohoo. And so I guess that's it. I think the next episode is haunted places, huh?
Part 1 of haunted locations. We have 2 parts. 1. Yes, I took every type of haunted location I could think of and then tried to figure out why they were haunted, and then found a bunch of examples. So we'll see how it goes.
And here we are. And I'll take a look. If you guys have suggestions of what the next creature feature should be, we will definitely listen to that and get you guys set up. But we'll work on another creature feature. I think at some point we want to work on not work on Ouija boards, but have an episode about Ouija boards. I don't want to fucking touch a Ouija board. So
no. As a matter of fact, we're going to have an entire episode dedicated to Ouija boards, and then we're going to have 2 episodes dedicated to paranormal equipment and Whitney flat out, whenever I was like, I want to do 2 episodes, she was like, why do you need 2 episodes? I was like, because someone other than me will find this interesting.
You say we are going to have 2 episodes. No, you are going to have 2 episodes, and I will be in attendance.
Yes, that's basically. And she's going to be like, really? Throughout most of it. So.
Fascinating. Do tell. Wow.
Fascinating.
So we're going to sign off, and we hope that you guys stay spooky.
Stay spooky. And
we'll spook
see you on the
later.
We'll spook you later. I feel like you have to say that.
Bitches. Bitches.
So. All right. See you on the next one.
Bye.